The general casually tossed a bloodied bandage into the jar, but the next second, it flew straight onto the woman's head. She thought the jar had spit trash at her, so she decided to take revenge, angrily pouring water into it. But no matter how much she poured, the jar never filled up. Determined to get back at it, she dragged it to the kitchen, turned on the tap, and poured in water furiously. Unexpectedly, this act saved 100,000 lives, because in ancient times, the general and his army were trapped without food or water. They were even preparing to slaughter the last 200 warhorses. Just then, water sprayed out from the jar's mouth. The soldiers saw it as a sign from the heavens, and cheered in relief. For them, water was more precious than gold. The general stood on the city wall, holding the jar, and distributed the water to the people. Back in the present, the woman woke up to a call from property management. They told her she had used 100 tons of water overnight. She suddenly remembered. She had forgotten to turn off the tap, but when she checked, there was no water in the jar. Only then did she realize, this jar didn't just spit out trash, it had a massive internal space. To test its powers, she threw in leftover rice, and it disappeared instantly. Excited, she added leftover dishes. They vanished too. Meanwhile, in ancient times, the general believed the jar was divine, and prayed for food. Though they waited for hours, nothing came out. Just as they were about to give up, a bowl of white rice rolled out of the jar. They were overjoyed, thinking it was a blessing. But the jar kept producing more and more food, convincing the soldiers this was a heavenly treasure. To give thanks, the general wrote a prayer letter, and burned it before placing it inside the jar. Back in the modern world, the jar suddenly started releasing black smoke. The woman was furious, but since the jar was a family heirloom, she carefully kept it anyway. Then she decided to challenge it. She began using it as a trash bin, throwing in expired food. But the ancient soldiers mistook it as a sign that their prayers had been answered. They celebrated as they hauled away the food, and the general wrote another letter of thanks. But this time, he forgot to burn it. By the time he remembered, it was too late. The woman received the letter, but was interrupted by a phone call. Seeing it was from her cruel grandmother, her face darkened. She remembered how after her parents passed, her grandmother and aunt had fought over the inheritance. Because she wasn't married, she lost her right to inherit, and everything went to her cousin. The memories brought her pain, so she forgot to read the general's letter. The general assumed the gods were angry at his many requests, and had now abandoned them. With only 2 steamed buns left, the people resorted to bartering children for food. Just as a boy was about to be traded, the general rushed in, and drove away the heartless father. He gave the boy their last food. An old woman saw this kind act, and offered to trade wild vegetables, if the general would adopt her granddaughter. Curious how she had managed to raise the girl, the general hesitated. Then the old woman slowly rolled up her sleeve.